Hey everybody, it's Demian Garcia Monroy, special education, civil rights activist. I know that I've let you guys know that I work primarily at Garden Grove Unified School District, but today I started my own YouTube channel, um, Twitter account. I've never wanted to use Twitter, but I mean, I'm being forced to really up my advocacy. So I'm getting it all done. I've got a website going, actually a couple of websites going. Um, and now I'm coordinating. A lot of people are contacting me as well as, hi, Alfredo, my mentor. We've been talking. So there's a movement going on. A lot of people that have been watching my videos want to start coordinating some of these civil rights. And for example, we formed an association over here of parents, allied advocates, attorneys, and dedicated volunteers in special education of Orange County. Um, and Alfredo, my longtime mentor, they have their own group. And there's other groups throughout Southern California. And so we're going to start coordinating our efforts because, unfortunately, districts coordinate their efforts and they pool their monies. I don't think I've touched on this subject, but there's like a big pot of gold that the districts share. Whenever there is a lawsuit or a precedent, a brand new, actually not doesn't even have a precedent, brand new situation with a district where it's going to set a precedent. And so the district looks at it, oh, we can't set a new precedent where we lose this case. They go to this big pot of gold, big pot of money, and literally stuff millions of dollars, okay, into fighting this poor family. Whatever family it is, they will fight them tooth and nail all the way up to the Supreme Court if they have to. Okay. Garden Grove has done that once. Garden Grove Unified School District has done that once. Literally tried to put this family into the poorhouse. Years and years and years of having to go to court fighting over the education of the child. And by the time the parents won the case, the child's not in school anymore. I mean, tell me how wrong that is. But that's what the districts do. They put their monies together, and when these cases come up, they fight our families. So we have to start changing things. I am really proud of my mentor Alfredo. They're changing things up over there. They're doing things that I want to be doing up here. They have a new board member over there that is fighting for their children with special needs. And so I think that's the important thing we need to be doing, is carrying on this work that I'm doing to expose the corruption, to expose the injustices against our children with special needs, to expose the lack of transparency in the special education budget and changes to special education programs, and how they are willfully violating our children's rights all across the board, getting rid of continuums of placements, completely illegal, segregating of schools, all sorts of really huge issues that districts like Garden Grove do and get away with it because parents don't know or are too afraid to advocate, because as you guys have seen, the district has no quarrels in retaliating against parents who advocate. When you start uncovering issues like the ones that I'm uncovering, you're going to be retaliated. And I know they're going to retaliate against me. Every time I tell you guys that I'm going to be retaliated against, guess what? What has happened? Can anybody tell me what has happened every time I say that the district's going to retaliate? Yeah, they retaliate. So I'm already prepared, and that's exactly why I started the YouTube channel today. And so Alfredo and I've been talking to a few other people, we're going to start coordinating different parent groups, different parent associations, and taking on these school districts when they are getting out of hand, like ours is in Garden Grove. We need to, I based a lot of my advocacy and the formation of our support group and a lot of things I've done behind what Alfredo has done. And so they've gotten a board member elected over there. So that's what we need to do in Garden Grove. We need to step it up. We need to, I know we don't have a lot of time as sped parents. I know we don't have a lot of money, but these issues are important to us, and we're going to have to start finding time. We're going to have to start finding candidates to run, or ourselves. We're going to have to start running. I invite any of you parents to decide that enough is enough and it's time to run for school board. Okay, Alfredo Aguero, they've done it where he's at, and he has a strong board member over there fighting for their children with special needs. We need to start doing the same thing here, because by having a school board member elected, then they can't hide things as much. They're still going to try. The administrators, they're still going to try and hide things, but at least we can expose that a lot easier. The parents can be advocating on one side. We can be asking for certain information. The trustee could be working on the other side. So we need to start changing the board, and we need to start getting rid of the administrators that don't want to change. I'm not for getting rid of people's jobs. That's never been my style. I'm for giving people second, third chances. If people want to change and do right by our kids, that's what's important. But it's become very apparent at our district that the administrators, at least one I know at the very top, they don't want to do right by our kids. And so we got to start getting people elected to these boards, and we got to start continuing to uncover the corruption. Okay, so on another note, okay, I know that I've been talking negative on a lot of stuff, okay? I want everybody to always try to be positive first on issues. When you have a new teacher, when you have a new classroom, whatever, unless you find out otherwise, you know, always support your teachers, always support your aides. They are the ones that are having to work under these horrendous conditions that the district imposes on them. Okay, and I know because I'm going to these IEPs, and our teachers are not, and they're not being given the class size that they need to have. They're not given the amount of aides that they need to have. And so these teachers are expected to perform miracles. These aides in the classrooms are expected to perform miracles. And so it's very easy for us parents to be looking in these classrooms and saying, oh my God, look at this is happening. Oh my God, that's happening, okay? And and teachers are going to be a lot more likely to make mistakes when they don't have these proper supports. Okay, so we need to start advocating for them. We have to be advocating for our teachers. Our teachers are scared. Okay, I have gotten a lot of feedback from our teachers. Our teachers are scared. They try to advocate for our kids. They do advocate for better class sizes. They do advocate for more supports in the classroom, for more aides and so forth. But when it comes down to it, they get shot down. They get shut down. They get clamped on by the district pretty quickly. Okay, so I really want you guys to think about these things, and support your teachers and support your aides. I'm not asking you to make exceptions if they do something that's not right. You'll never possible always ask for clarification, and you might have misunderstood something, but definitely hold people accountable. But whenever possible, we need to start getting them the support. So that's how we're going to do things. I think how we're going to change things up district by district by district is going to be several things. One, us parent groups need to start coordinating. We need to start working outside the procedural safeguards, outside of having to do file class action lawsuits, although we need to do those things as well. But I think it's going to be more effective if parents start organizing with the teachers, if parents start organizing with the community, if parents start exposing the corruption and the lack of transparency and the conditions that our children or our teachers are having to work in, and expose the amount of minutes that teachers have to work with each child. Okay, I know in Garden Grove, I've already had several teachers tell me that the amount of minutes, because of the increased caseloads, the amount of minutes they have to work on each children's IEP and so forth is a ridiculous amount. It's like, 30, 40 minutes or whatever. And it's like, they have to, what Garden Grove Unified School District's doing is they're lowering the expectations and they're lowering the amount of IEP goals in order to allow for these class case loads. And I want everybody to think about that, okay? Our children are getting less IEP goals, and they're not able to work on those goals appropriately. They're not tracking data. The teachers are having to show up with their opinions on how the child is doing. Because when you're not tracking data, these are opinions, okay? These are the types of, this is the type of situation that Garden Grove Unified School District is imposing on our teachers. And I know this is true for several reasons, okay? Our teachers are telling me this, and I'm seeing it at the IEP meetings, okay? Because every single time that we ask for work samples and data, they might come up with some work samples, but there's no data, okay? And the reason there's no data, it's not because they are a bad teacher, okay? It is because of unfair expectations. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I think I'm a fairly smart person. I'm not like dynamic or anything, but I'm fairly smart. But I'll tell you, I could never be a special education teacher. I think I've done so many observations that that's just not something I could do. Not that I wouldn't want to. It's an extremely challenging job. And the other thing is the conditions that they're forcing these teachers to work in for special education would be like expecting every nurse to be even if you go and do home health, but you go do home health and you got 10 patients, 12 patients, 18 patients, whatever, and you have to be rock solid of a nurse like if you're an ER. So every single nurse, doesn't matter where you work, whether it's at a weight loss clinic, vaccine clinic, podiatry, it doesn't matter where you work. You are going to have a caseload as if you were an ER nurse, okay? That's what they're doing. I can tell you this, I'm a nurse. I could never work in the ER. It's just not me. I am not, I am not afraid to admit, guess what? I'm not that rockin' nurse. I could never be an ER nurse. That is only for the select few that can do that type of work. I've done urgent care, and that's about it. And I will never do emergency. That's what they're expecting from our teachers. They're expecting them to be ER teachers. Okay, so they're not providing them with the right support, aids, and services. So I ask everybody to please support these efforts. This is a civil rights movement. I want everybody to understand that special education goes all the way back to Melendez versus Westminster School District, okay? Right here in Orange County, right here in our own school district. In fact, Garden Grove was part of the suit. Santa Ana, Westminster, and Garden Grove, where it was the first time we desegregated a school, okay? Special education goes all the way back to that, the grounds for having, access to education for our children with special needs goes all the way back to that, not separate but equal stuff. So it is a civil rights issue, special education. The districts are always going to point to the procedural safeguards or Section 504 or this and that. So they want everyone to just file a formal complaint, which gets buried and they don't do anything with, or file with the state or whatever. The money's not there. They could care less. They don't care if anybody files anything. They don't care if they get sued and the district's out money, have to pay an attorney. The money's not theirs. Okay, what they care of is their image, and they care about the heat they're getting from the board. Because if they're not doing their job right, if we start uncovering what the administrators are doing, then guess what? The board is going to have pressure. The board is going to be under pressure to fix it. And if these administrators can't fix it, then things are going to start to happening. Okay? So I've always been about let's just get the job fixed. I'm not out to get anybody's job, but let's fix it. Okay? So that's what we need to do. It is a civil rights issue, and that's why I think I'm hoping you guys are seeing. I'm posting a lot of stuff related to civil rights, like in 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. Okay, and we all applaud her. We all applaud Rosa Parks. We all learn about her, but in this day and age, when us parents, when we advocate for our children and we refuse to give up our seats at the IEP, okay, because that's what the district expects us to do right here in Garden Grove, okay? Everything is all fine and dandy in the IEP until the parent figures out that they're being swindled out of, their children's education. And they start advocating for their child, they will be belittled, they will be disrespected, they will be plowed down, okay? They will be expected to give up their seat, okay, at the IEP. They will table their concerns to the end of the meeting in hope that the meeting will end and they'll run out of time and they won't be able to attend to the parents' concerns. That's what they're expecting. They're expecting our parents to give up their seat at the IEP table, okay? It's the same thing. They're expecting us to give up our seat the way Rosa Parks did back in 1955, but yet it's okay. Somehow it is okay for the district to expect us parents to give up our seat. The time has come that we send a clear message to all our districts that we are not going to give up our seat at the IEP table. Okay, we are going to stand firm. Thank you very much, guys, for all the support. Thank you, everybody. Aldo, Alfredo, Jobeth, Herida, Nicio, Oscar, Mohan. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and please share, comment my videos. Ask people to follow me. I just started a YouTube channel, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be doing some links on my Facebook page. Thank you so much, Alfredo, for keeping mentoring me and let me know of all the good stuff you're doing out there. So, all right, take care, guys. Yeah, have a good night.